At 70, Reba McEntire is no longer interested in rumors, headlines, or whispered speculation. She's lived too much life for that. Born in the wide-open plains of Oklahoma, raised in a rodeo family where grit mattered more than glamour, Reba learned early that strength isn't loud, it's steady. From singing harmonies in the back seat of a pickup truck to being discovered at the National Finals Rodeo, her journey was never overnight. It was built note by note, heartbreak by heartbreak. By the time hits like Fancy and Whoever's in New England made her a household name, she wasn't just a country star. She was a storyteller who made millions feel understood. She survived career doubts, a devastating plane crash that took her bandmates, public divorces, and the pressure of building an empire in Nashville. Through it all, she carried herself with the same Oklahoma humility that started it all. And now, with the clarity that only time can give, she's finally speaking openly about one of the most talked-about relationships in her extended family, her bond with Kelly Clarkson. For years, fans speculated. When Kelly married Brandon Blackstock, Reba's former stepson, their worlds intertwined in a new way. They weren't just two powerhouse vocalists sharing stages anymore. They were family. Reba remembers watching Kelly's rise after winning American Idol in 2002 and recognizing something rare. A once-in-a-generation voice. A fire. A heart that poured into every lyric. When they performed together, it wasn't competition, it was connection. When you sing with Kelly, Reba has shared, you don't just trade lines. You share a story. But life, as Reba knows better than most, doesn't follow a straight road. When Kelly's marriage to Brandon ended in a very public and painful divorce, the spotlight intensified. People wondered where loyalties would fall. Reba's answer now is simple and steady. Love doesn't vanish just because circumstances change. She refused to choose sides. Having endured her own divorces, including the end of her 26-year marriage to Narvel Blackstock, Reba understood the private ache behind public statements. Divorce is hard no matter who you are, she has admitted. My heart hurt for everyone involved. And in that honesty lies the truth. Her respect for Kelly never wavered. If anything, it deepened. What moves Reba most isn't the headlines or the industry talk. It's watching Kelly as a mother. Through grief, through change, through rebuilding, Reba has seen resilience up close. She knows something about loss, the kind that reshapes your world overnight. That perspective makes her protective, compassionate, steady. She speaks of Kelly not just as a superstar, but as a woman who stood tall when life tried to knock her down. A woman who kept singing, who kept showing up for her children, who refused to let hardship define her. At 70, Reba McEntire's truth isn't dramatic or scandalous. It's powerful in its simplicity. She loves Kelly Clarkson. Always has. Always will. Family, she says, doesn't dissolve because paperwork changes. Bonds built on music, shared laughter, and lived experience don't disappear. In an industry that thrives on rivalry and rumor, Reba's words cut through the noise. After decades of singing about heartbreak and resilience, she's living proof of both. And her message is clear. Grace lasts longer than gossip, love outlives headlines, and real strength is choosing compassion when the world expects conflict.